It all started with a mistake, a simple mix-up that put me on the wrong van as I renewed my visa in Thailand. I wasn't supposed to be there, but fate had other plans. There in the front row was the most astonishing beauty I had ever seen. She was Japanese with an elegance that felt almost unreal, like a painting come to life. It was the kind of beauty that makes you forget how to breathe. I couldn't sit there in silence. I knew just enough Japanese to break the ice, so I did. To my surprise, her soft accent revealed she was from Texas, traveling with a friend to see the world before diving into med school. She was headed to Kuala Lumpur. I was supposed to stop in Penang, but by the time my bus arrived in Penang at 2 a.m., I was already planning my next move. An hour later, I boarded another bus bound for Kuala Lumpur. Sleep-deprived and desperate, I spent the early morning hours wandering the streets, hijacking Wi-Fi wherever I could, trying to track her down. Eventually, I found her hostel, booked myself a room, and decided I'd do anything to spend time with her. The days that followed were magical for me, but utterly confusing. I hung on her every word, her every smile. I knew she didn't see me the same way, but it didn't matter. Just being close to her felt like something out of a dream. One night, we joined a rooftop party at the hostel. The skyline glittered with the glow of the Petronas Towers, but I only had eyes for her. That night, though, she barely acknowledged me. Instead, she spent hours talking to another guy. Jealousy burned in my chest, so I stormed off, retreating to the common room to brood. But when I heard they were alone together on the roof, I couldn't take it. Fueled by frustration, I became the world's most shameless cockblock. I went back upstairs, pretending I couldn't sleep and needed fresh air. The mood shifted immediately, and I ruined whatever moment they might have shared. Moments later, she found me downstairs, furious. She accused me of ignoring her, of not giving her enough attention. We bickered until I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed her hand and led her back to the roof. There, under the shadow of those iconic towers, I confessed everything. I told her how I felt, and to my utter disbelief, she felt the same. She had been waiting for me to make a move to show her how much I cared. As she stood in the doorway to the stairs, I pulled her close and kissed her. It felt like the world stopped spinning. I didn't sleep at all that night. We spent the better part of a year traveling through Southeast Asia together. Every day felt like a dream I was afraid to wake from. Somewhere along the way, on the steep slopes of Indonesia's tallest volcano, she told me she loved me. The moment the words left her lips, the ground seemed to shift beneath me. For what felt like an eternity, I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. And then finally, I told her I loved her too. When our journey ended, reality came crashing down. She returned to Texas, and I went back to Colorado. The distance between us was unbearable. She called every day, sometimes more. But she was starting med school and didn't think she'd have time for a relationship. I tried to understand, but every tear-filled call chipped away at me. I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to pack up my life and move to Texas. I thought if I could just be close to her, we could make it work. She had taken a break from med school, unsure if it was the path she truly wanted. We found an apartment together, moved in, and started looking for jobs. For a brief moment, life felt perfect, but cracks began to show. I didn't have a degree and I was younger. She didn't care about those things, but her parents did. Their expectations weighed on her, and soon they weighed on us. 5 days. That's how long we lasted in that apartment. 5 days before she broke up with me, her voice trembling as she told me it was too much. I wasn't what she needed, what her family expected. It was the first and only time in my life I considered ending everything. The aftermath was unbearable. We tried to stay in touch, but every email, every message was like a dagger to my heart. I'd read her words over and over, dissecting every sentence, clinging to any hope that she might still want me. But the pain outweighed everything else. Eventually, I stopped responding. Months passed, and one day she emailed me, asking for a call. My number had changed, and she wanted me to reach out. I dialed her number 10 times, but I could never press send. Since then, I've tried to move on. I've dated other people, but it's never been the same. No one has ever made me feel the way she did. She was my greatest love and my greatest heartbreak. Even now, years later, I can't look at our photos without feeling a mix of joy and sorrow. They are my most cherished memories and my deepest wounds. I don't know if I'll ever truly get over her. Maybe I don't want to. Some loves leave marks too deep to fade.